and I think it came probably around like 9:00. But I was getting ready to watch it. I saw it and I shared it. I tagged you guys in it. And when I was about to watch it, my boss came in and we had a meeting. So now, like, I had it on my phone. Like, it was previewing on the phone. Like, obviously no volume, but I was just peeking back and forth. I didn't know what he said to this day. But I said, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
HR is...
I hope HR. I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom for a moment. I picked up my phone. I watched it in the bathroom. And like, when I'm there watching, it was the moment where he goes like, get this man a shield. I was like, jeez.
You guys are lucky. Like, I had the week from heck this week.
You didn't get to see it till when?
Independence was this week. So
yeah.
A lot of work to do in my job. So I ended up like, I had to go and steal 5 minutes. I had to steal 5 minutes to watch it twice.
Yeah. I like how all of you are like watching it like it's a dirty little thing in
the bathroom. It's like in the bathroom.
You're like,
this is happening.
I work for an advertising agency. We all watch it.
We all watch
it. Because you could argue that it's marketing. So we all watch it.
But like all day, all throughout the day at my desk, if you could probably hear from my headphones like bum, 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 bum.
So okay, let's go through the parts you
Wait, hold on,
from this.
Yes, because I want to talk about Thanos.
Tissues, man.
I already used all of them up, B.
He spelled himself several times.
I want to talk about Thanos. I want to talk about Thanos' knockout punch, though. I love that punch so much because like, it's not like one of these like punches where like the person gets thrown through buildings. He gets thrown through like a mountain landscape. Right. This is a world star punch, B. That was like, he needs some milk. Sharkeisha, no.
You're in Barbados. It's white collar crime.
This is, man. And the man out here looking like, somebody say he looked like Devo from Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, tuck your chin.
He really did look like Devo from Friday. It's like, Infinity Gym.
Yeah, I was like, see Doctor Strange talking his tone. I was like, oops. It was like, what? Nah. What Infinity Gym? Yeah, it was, I love the CG on Thanos. Like, what do you guys think about that?
I actually thought it was really good too. I see a lot of people saying that it looks janky. I think
I don't get it.
Spoiled on CG.
It's okay. Because what's funny is that the first time we saw Thanos' character, like the CG there was actually pretty dope.
Yeah. Was it CG or was it makeup? Or
that was CG.
It was definitely, it had to be CG because they didn't even cast anyone for it at that time.
Yeah, I gotta go back and check and see if what we saw in Guardians 2 is CG or if it's prosthetics and a mix of CG and prosthetics. But yeah, when we see the end of Avengers, that's all CG.
And he's dressed in different garb too. Like he was just sitting on the couch.
I think it's probably that they did motion capture with Brolin.
Yeah, probably because it kind of looks like him.
Yeah, slight like diversion. Isn't this really weird? Like knowing that he's playing this character and he's still gonna end up like playing Cable, and we've seen him as Cable as well.
Hey. I would need to find something to sell if they actually manage, if Fox and Marvel manage some sort of deal where there's some sort of crossover.
Nah, fam, too late. And I'll tell you what, it's too late because after these Infinity films, like whatever epic they want to set up next, if they then decide to say it has to be an X-Men inclusive part, is a big deal. Because there's so much other stuff that we haven't been able to see that it's like, if you decide to do something like, I don't know, like you can't do Onslaught per se because you've already done like Apocalypse. Like, what do you do? Do you do Secret War or what? Like,
funny enough, I actually agree with you. Even though I'm probably the biggest X-Men fan here,
not probably.
I am probably, but for me, it's like unless the story works, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the integration. You know, they may sound off. Like,
so what have you
I'm not
about those things?
No, I just don't.
I mean, it could be done really well. Like Spider-Man is a good example.
Spider-Man was a good example, but I just don't think that
making it work.
Right,
but
I think that at this point, like what Fox is doing with the X-Men, we had those bumps. There have been times that they fucked up, but I think like now they've course corrected, and they're doing like a lot of good things with it now, like with Legion.
Yeah.
With Logan.
Legion isn't part of that universe. The Gifted I'm watching that on right now is not part of that universe.
Like Logan was a good one too.
Logan's not part of that universe.
The Fox universe?
Yeah, it's not part of Fox's universe.
That's not a part of it?
No.
Logan. So that's a standalone.
Yeah, Logan's a standalone. That is not the end of.
But I still but I still like that though because I mean, I don't think that they all because it's still the same studio.
Well, it's Fox, but it's written by somebody else. It's not supposed to be the character.
It's not tied in
That we're seeing in the other movies.
Well, but I'm fine with that.
We're supposed to also think that the other two Wolverines didn't happen.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I can understand that.
It's like a lot of different things,
right? But the thing is, I kind of like, even though they're not connected, I like what they're doing with those films. Like, I like that they're taking risks. That they're with Deadpool as well. Like, what they're doing is that they're taking the superhero genre in like a different way from what Marvel is doing it. Like, they're doing like a horror superhero film. They got like a Deadpool.
New Mutants is a horror, yeah. Right. But I mean, the reason why this trailer is so amazing and the reason why this trailer works is that the steps were put in place for all these characters to integrate.
Exactly.
And so you have to do that now with the X-Men if Fox is amalgamated, or Fantastic Four if they decide to bring Fantastic Four in. So we'll see. I'm sure they could do it very well. Right. Clearly, at Marvel, the directors are not the auteurs; the producers are the auteurs, and they already have an idea of how everything. Kevin Feige is the one who's thinking all this stuff out. Mm-hmm. But for this particular trailer, I'm just glad to see all of these characters come together. Oh, yeah.
So, what do you guys think that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has worked where others are struggling, like it's the simple. Universal monster universe that exists?
I can answer that right now. It's simple.
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah, they killed
Marvel's sole advantage is that they've had time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
It's two things for me. It's not just time. It's you have money. Like I said, you took 2 bites of the cherry to make one good film. You have one good Iron Man movie, whereas the other 2 are not really Iron Man films. As I said, like there's so many times in that catalog where there's moments that are actually setting up key moments for this film. Mm-hmm. And like you could pretty much just squash down so much of those films, and I'm sure someone will. Someone out there on the internet is going to sit down and mine those films and totally do a super.
Well, I think what also works for the Marvel films is that they have very good performances, and that they're not looking to suppress those performances.
Right.
Are you saying?
What I think for me,
you said there's some performances.
No, I think
some
a lot of the makers,
like which ones?
You can say Robert Downey Jr.'s.
Is Chris Evans is
that the way Tony Stark is written in the comics now is
right. Chris Evans is Captain America.
Chris Evans is Captain America. Chris Hemsworth is Thor. There's a lot of really good performances, and even the secondary, Mark Ruffalo is just a great actor altogether.
Yes.
But like even secondary characters, a lot of supporting characters give really good performances. Yeah. And so I think they allow them to do that. And just to touch back on Thor, 70% of Thor is improvised, supposedly.
Oh, whoa. Interesting.
A lot of the script, Waititi allowed the characters to improvise lines that ended up in the film.
I think
half of Jeff Goldblum's performance is improvised, which makes sense.
Oh, come on.
Come on. I feel like when he walked in, he was I'm doing my own movie.
Christopher Walken gets cast in one of these movies, you know it's going to be all improvised work anyway.
Yeah. There's a feeling over, I think, and we're going to talk about this soon when we talk about Justice League, but there's a feeling that even when they're over at DC, the characters' performances maybe are stiff or being overly directed. There's just a different feeling. Whereas I feel like at Marvel, a lot of the actors really embody those characters.
I think for if you're talking about directly against DC, if you're saying that it's too rigid in terms of what they're trying to make, because the problem is they're trying to do the same thing as a big corporation. You're doing what movie studios have done for eons. Warner Brothers has been championed for knowing that, hey, it's time to make a movie because Fox is making a movie. And it's like the same reason why we have Deep Impact and we have, what was the other one? Armageddon.
Oh, yeah, Armageddon.
It's because studios look at each other, they all know what everybody's making. And it's like, oh, you're making this? I have one of these up here on the scripts desk somewhere. And pull it down and just make the film. The investment to making good films is not about doing that. It's not about just making cash. Right now, DC's too big to fail. Even, can you imagine movies that people don't like, that people quarrel about all the time, are still making more money than great films?
There's lots of terrible films. But I think we're talking about the Marvel one specifically, and I think that is, as Mark said, part of it's success, just having the time to do it. But also, I think they allow the actors to embody those characters. They also allow directors to bring something.
Clearly,
they realize.
I think like if they go too far, they cut it. Too.
The directors, if they go too far, like Gunn, for example, like they're like
they get reined in.
But obviously, they look at indie directors and they're like, okay, there's a thing here that will work for this character. Let's pull them in. That's what they did.
What I think for me is why they work is like one, like they know how to make their character. Like, they know how to make their characters work. They know what would make a character like Captain America work in modern day.
Your guys are actually there, like Kevin Feige,
right? It's true.
With the company,
that works. Like that's part of what's made them work. They know how to bring out the essence of the character that makes them work
I feel
on screen.
Like they have both a respect for the characters, but also they're not afraid to like make the characters fun.
More fans,
but they also have
started making these movies.
Right. So is it that Marvel has fans making movies and DC doesn't?
Hey,
here's the I'm sure that's not the
Zack Snyder's a big fan, but I feel like Zack Snyder's view on superheroes is kind of like
stilted.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So I think time is a big part of it, but Kevin Feige is, I think, really the secret sauce from Marvel because he is the guy who's planning everything out.
Right.
He's the guy who is the last call for a lot of decisions. Right. So if you look at the other studios, if you look at Marvel, at DC. They started as this committee, right? And a lot of movies in Hollywood are made by committee. But you can't really have that. That's really the distinction between Marvel and anybody else.
There's difference between what you're
you got one guy who says, "This is my vision," because, like Lou said, he's the one. He's the one with the vision.
You see, and that's the difference between making a movie and making art, Because when you're making art, you're not necessarily gonna sit down and try and make something that is gonna be all things for all people. Because when you're making art, you're just making a statement. You're saying something. You're doing something decisive. You're just out there. But when you're making this business proposition, you are interested in one thing and one thing alone.
Well, I think they're still interested in cash, but there is certain art side to Marvel because they're not afraid to make their film like comic books. They know that it's a medium, not a genre.
Exactly.
And so you have like the Captain America films are kind of more like those kind of 70s kind of conspiracy theory movies, and then you have a caper movie for Ant-Man, and you have this kind of like big caper / jokey movie for Guardians.
Correct.
And so they're not afraid to like have different genres, where I think DC is kind of a
they've been having like one type of film the whole time. But my other thing that I like about Marvel is like when I say from the moment that Nick Fury steps out of the shadow in Tony Stark's house, like that sets a guideline for Avengers. So like all the films that you watch there is leading towards a story. There's an overarching plot there, and that's the formation of the Avengers. Then after you see Thanos, and then like all these other films there's that overarching plot of Thanos. So there's always that thing that connects him. And like if there's ever a point where like we don't know where to go, we still can fall into that guideline, or we just make a filler movie, quote unquote filler, but something that's unconnected to the overall story, like say like Ant-Man.
Or even Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Exactly. So these things is having a plan for where you want to go, having an endpoint, and then like sticking to that endpoint, and that makes your films like have a sense of purpose. Like when I go to watch a Marvel film, like it doesn't just feel like a film that's on schedule, but it's a film that's leading to something.
Two Thor films felt as though it was just films on schedule.
They were, but that's where they failed. But where they succeed is when they realize that it's not just a schedule, like we're leading somewhere. Right? So we're talking about Justice League, talking about leading somewhere.
Look at that segue.
Look at that segue. I know that all my segue for these DC films have been something like shady. Yeah.
Where you gonna treat shady?
Yeah, I don't know. It's all sepia tone and like dark colors, so you know.
Throw some shade DC's way, man.
So DC Justice League. So DC's Justice League. So what's to say about this film? There's been so much talk about it. There's been so much division within like fans and even the film community on this film. Like DC films traditionally have not been doing very well. Wonder Woman came as an almost like huge surprise. And like from the moment that Wonder Woman came up, I guess like it showed a bit of hope that DC knew where they were heading. But I guess it also showed the fact that maybe they may not know, they may not be able to fill this bar, these shoes again. They may not be able to up the bar for what Wonder Woman did. This Justice League film came out to 46% reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, which like Rotten Tomatoes has been usually known to like dog them out.
Is that just the critic end? Is